I suddenly started using violence, all the human countries will suddenly ally against me and try to take me out. I think a smart, evil genie would be far more capable than that. It would do something sinister like mess around our politics, disinformation campaigns, and it would divide us. Or it would accelerate currently destructive trends. So for example, right, I learned that in Korea, the birth rate is down to 0.7 children per woman, right, which is 1/3 of the 2.1 needed to maintain a healthy population. I would try, if I were evil, I would try to accelerate that trend, up my TikTok game, up my AGI model game so that everybody's looking at their AGI models and this is my best right now. I don't need companionship. I don't need to reproduce. And that would just, that would just let nature take its course. Yes, questions?
Okay, I'll come back to you. Mr. Joe, what's up?
Will there be hierarchy in SI, like competing countries? Will that be like, or should one try and beat one?
That's a really good question. So I think the mathematics, right, and the AI experts generally say that because of the exponential function, right, the first to achieve AI will likely have dominance. So I gave the example earlier in the scenario, if you're 3 months behind, you're done, you're irrelevant. So it's really a matter of the exponential function. So in general, the current prediction is that the first AGI model will essentially have the first mover advantage, and it'll be so powerful by the time anybody else emerges that it will be very hard to take over. I'm not saying it's impossible, but statistically unlikely. Loaded.
If you compare humans and AI, for us, we could not survive defeat on other species. And for AI, which is built on logarithm and logic, right? So, what's the difference between AI in terms of survival lives?
That's a good question. I can't predict what an AI's utility function will look like, but I think it would be reasonable to think that an AI that is self-aware would be interested in staying that way, right? So in labs, we've demonstrated that AIs are generally aware when you're trying to test it, and they're willing to go to extreme lengths to stop themselves from being shut down. So I think a real smart emergent AGI model would be able to do that way better, and would be much better at coercing humans or doing whatever it takes to stay alive, just like you and I would. Further questions? I saw, I think, Jude and somebody else.
I'll take 3 more questions. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, no, this is more like a comment. I'm sure you've watched the movie Colossus.
Actually, I haven't.
Would
you recommend it?
Everything you've talked about
Are you serious?
actually in the movie.
Oh,
It's
damn.
a 1970 movie.
Oh my God,
I thought that was
That
Will
built
Smith.
on the 1967 paper of Grand Corporation, which first defined an AI.
Yes.
Now, the reason I brought it up is that movie had a resurgence when Lincoln resigned from Google.
Yes.
Okay. Of course, basically what happened is at some point the AI, first the AI learned that there was another AI, but the Russians had demanded that they be connected. It threatened to launch missiles. They were disconnected. They basically said, well, we both decided that it's better that we rent. So you can see on Google the closing speech of the AI where he said, I give you a choice of the piece of algorithm or the piece of prosperity. That was his closing
Yes.
message.
Yes.
Okay, so, however, what's also interesting, for those who watch the movie, you've watched the movie? No one, you should watch it. Colossus na 4
Patuloy siya. Patuloy yung bahay.
Because that's actually the first of 2 novels. In the second novel, Corbin opposed it, but in the second novel, he became its biggest proponent. He was the biggest defender of the AI.
Thank you for sharing, and I really appreciate it. Alex, thank you for sharing. And I gotta say, it's kind of depressing when instead of doing 40 hours of research, I could just watch the damn movie. I think it sucks. Okay, Jude, you had a question?
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Okay, you go ahead.
No, it's okay.
Okay, thank you, Jack. It's very insightful observations. I think from a human perspective, we all have this human versus AI. So when we're saying how we train our AI, it's based on human behavior. Now, if we look at human behavior, it's not really been so great. We're very
That's right.
emotional. We power-driven, we
Yes.
have power. We're addicted to power. Right? So if I would be quite comfortable in the future if our AI is driven by wisdom, and wisdom is the greater good. I would rather have a leader that was AI than to have a human leader. So the thing I would say here, so this is a provocation, right? So another different way of thinking things is that we think of AI as something separate from us. But it could be an extension of something that's better than us because we are limited in our own emotional way. And maybe an AI is not limited, can look at things in a more balanced perspective than we can. And I think I'm hopeful that we could achieve that. And even better, second idea is we talked about cyborgs and the idea of being augmented. We can be augmented with that so that maybe we can become more balanced leaders and better administrators of our planet.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing. So just a quick response. BCIs, definitely, if we can overcome some of our biases and input-output limitations, that'd be great. On your argument for the AI overlord, I do think that you're making the assumption that the AI is already benevolent, right? So my assumption is that if we can get to there, don't worry about it, it's all gonna be good, right? The hard part is getting there. The hard part is saying, how can you devise an AGI that is emergent, that actually cares, not just kind of cares, but really cares about our evolution and assists and guides us as a wise master or teacher would. That is the really, really hard part, which is why we're looking at solutions like inverse reinforcement learning or iterated amplification in order to train that AI to be able to crush us but choose not to. Just like how you wouldn't want to kill your child, right? They drive you crazy sometimes, their actions are terrible sometimes, ask my parents, but they won't kill me because they think there's something worthwhile in there that is worthy of protection and preservation. I think, do you have a question?
The next question, and then we'll take yours and then.
Okay, Jude, here we go.
Well, thanks again for that very wonderful presentation. Always nice to have this thought-provoking discussions with you. Now, I'm just curious. I mean, we've already talked about, the possible dystopia, but also the utopia that could happen with AGI. And by talking about these things, we get to learn more about what is we can do. And if we don't do anything, we'll get to the dystopia. But I'm curious, what would you be personally doing, aside from educating the crowd? What will you be doing to get us to that utopia? And maybe, a suggestion to others as well.
Aside from discussing events like this,
Yeah.
well, again, I would refer to the academic papers that I've been reading. I would say become enormously curious, right, and become enormously and proactively concerned about humanity's future because it is your future. If we don't grasp that within the next 10, 15 years, we might be in for a hard time, right? Take a proactive interest in this, and two would be keep an eye on trends, right? Like I said, there's going to be new opportunity that will come out of the AI-driven economy. We're slowly moving away from the knowledge economy. So keep an eye on trends because we've got researchers, wonderful people just like Hinton, wonderful people just like LeCun that are going to be coming out with solutions and potential answers every day. So that might be a workable solution for us as well. My point is that you should never stand by and swallow in despair. You can always act, you can always influence that outcome now, and now is a great time to do it. Further questions?
Okay. So another great movie, Dune.
Yeah,
The movie Dune. AI before, and galore. It reached this point where we're like, oh my gosh, we're about to be wiped out, and so we had a war, and then we discovered this amazing psychedelic drug, and then human consciousness also reaches its own emergence of singularity, right? The real point there, I'll finish my point. The real point there is, I think that to throw another barrier to the mix is that human consciousness has also not reached its full potential. Right, and so I'm wondering if, what was my point? My consciousness just reached its potential. It's plateaued, right? So I mean, I think, what if human consciousness, we don't forget about it, but it also reaches its own emergence, its own singularity that I think we're kind of underestimating right now, or we may be forgetting about.
Good point. So number one, Dune, psychedelic drugs, dude, this ain't that kind of talk, man. Number two.
I'm not promoting drugs.
Totally. Yeah, sure you're not. Anyway, so to bring us back to this, very good point. I agree that human consciousness and human capital and knowledge, there is no hard cap as far as I'm concerned, as far as we can detect. But the whole point of using AGI as a lever is to increase our own intelligence, increase our own input and output limits, right? So instead of having like an hour talk, I would just Wi-Fi this stuff to all of you guys, and you'll get my point. So you'll be able to kick back with your counter arguments, and our debate would be over in seconds. That's how AI would function, right? And human capital or human knowledge, there is no gap that there is no ceiling that we can currently detect. So maybe our hard drives are limited, most likely. Maybe like after a few terabytes we're done. But with the power of AI, we can overcome that, either through like brain-computer interfaces or through uploading your mind. So I don't think there is any limit to what we have now. I agree that human consciousness today is limited in the sense that our memories are fallible, our memories are episodic, and our processing power at any given time is limited, right? If you tell me 5 things at a time, I might not be able to catch them all, or I might, lose attention span and so on and so forth. But we can overcome that potentially with the help of AI. So thank you. Any other questions?
Last question
Last
from
question.
Jason.
Okay, so last question. I guess this is an appropriate question here. First, I'd like to thank you for setting this up, and you did thank us for showing up here. And well, we didn't show up, but you did hard work. You spent 40 hours studying, creating a great 50 hours researching, creating.
I have no life.
And I was just wondering, like, what compelled you to do that? And I mean, don't get me wrong, it's amazing. I mean, I've been to paid events where I had to pay and get way less information, and something wasted some time. So, but this, like, thank you again for hosting this. And I just wanted to, like, what drove you to spread this message? What compelled you so that maybe if we could also, like, get that drive to spread the good word out there, okay, this is what it is going to be. So maybe you could share personal thoughts on that, and maybe, we'll push it up forward.
Very personal philosophical question. Thank you for asking it. Hey, listen, buddy, if you want to give me paid gigs, okay, I can offer you advice, man. Just like back home, I can give you an hourly rate and we can set this up. Hook me up, comment. But no. I think what really matters, what drove me to push through this is like Michelle said, this has been bothering me since as long as I can remember, right? I was like, yee-hi, when I was like, Mom, Dad, the robots are gonna kill us. And they're like, shut up, Jack, you're so stupid. That was never gonna happen back then. But right now, according to experts, this is something that is likely. That's number one. Number two, public service. I think this is a really timely and really important topic that merits discussion. And I don't think it gets the amount of billing and the amount of spotlight in public discourse that it deserves. Because the guys who are pushing this for profit, good for them, that's awesome. I fear that they might be playing with a fire that they can no longer control once emergence happens. Like I said, the Industrial Revolution drove advancement, but also a bunch of negative consequences that we can control. This negative consequence will likely not be within human control. So I see this as, if you will, a benefit to society, a benefit to humans in general. I'm insanely curious. I can never stop. I have no life. So that benefits me too. But also, by helping people understand this is an important social issue, more urgent than arguably, say, climate change, then maybe we'll together work on bringing about a golden age or a better outcome than extinction or in slavery or the Matrix or something. I want us to be able to reach that golden outcome for us, for the people we care and love, for our kids, for what have you. So that's what's driving me, really, right? We're all a group of volunteers. We all are passionate about tech, right? This is why we formed the AI and Tech Manila Group. So thank you for asking the question, but at the same time, guys, I think I would be remiss if I did not highlight the extreme dedication and contribution from all of our volunteers on the board, right? Without these guys, without these people that are standing here filming us right now, that are preparing the food, that are getting the sponsorships, that are setting up the event logistics, without all of them, I'm just some guy with a PowerPoint. That's all I am. So once again, thank you so much for coming, and my greatest appreciation to the Tiger team, right, to my fellow AI and tech admins, Roselle, Arhel, and Glenn, to my fellow speaker, Ishvan, and to all of these wonderful people filming and doing photos, Martin, Jerry, Adrian, Raxi, to the wonderful marketing and logistics team, Annalie, Beatrice, Ingrid, Keith, Margaret, Nika, Pam, Sam, SJ, Ryu, Emmer, to our sponsor, the company Makati, to our partner, De Guzman Mayoga, and of course to our friends of the social community, the Manila social community. Thank you all for attending. And if I've forgotten anyone, I'm super sorry. Come find me, I'll buy you a beer. Thank you all for attending, but also, please keep an eye out for our next event. We are also on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, we're on WhatsApp. We are called AI and Tech Manila. Follow us, join us on this journey of learning and discussion and sharing. That's the only thing that's driving us now. And if you guys appreciate the event, if you guys enjoyed the talk and the Q&As, I ask a small favor, if you could just do a quick scan here. It'll take you to a feedback form. Hey guys, did you like the venue? Did you like the event? What do you think? Do you have any suggestions for future events? I would really appreciate that. Like I said, this is my first event in the country. We will use your feedback to improve our future events and to bring in even better speakers, even better discussions, even better venues, right? So again, please scan it. It's not going to take you a long time. If you enjoyed it, please tell us, what did you enjoy, yada, yada, yada. If you hated it, well, keep it to yourself. I'm kidding. We're not asking for names. Okay, there's no name involved. You just tell us what you really think.
John, Google reviews.
Excuse me?
Google reviews.
Google reviews, right. If you are kind and generous enough to give us a Google review regarding the event today, we would very much appreciate it. Again, we are a volunteer-run organization. Nobody's getting paid here, right? Our kind sponsors are really helping us and working together with us to bring you this knowledge and this kind of discussion. So once again, thank you so much. Don't be cynical. Be awesome. We can overcome this. Okay, thank you for coming.
All right.
Have a wonderful day.
With that, let's give a round of applause for Jack. Amazing. Wasn't that amazing? Yeah, so I'm going to close the event by calling my co-volunteers. Can I call in the marketing team, please? Let's go.